Hello friends, this is Vikram Kumar Sharma, Assistant Professor at James Engineering Management Technical Campus, Greater Noida. So today we are going to discuss business statistics and its fundamental concept. So let's start with the lecture. First, we will in the first lecture we have discussed about the course, how the course is planned, and what are the marking scheme and the blueprint of the subject which you are going to study. Today we will start with the subject itself. Today we will start with the introduction to statistics. What is statistics? What are its different areas that we need to study? What are the branches of statistics and so on. So class, let's start. Here are the topics which we are going to cover today in this lecture. First is introduction to statistics. We will discuss what is statistics, its definition, its scope, and what are the different parameters associated with statistics only. Then we will talk about branches of statistics, and then we will discuss in brief what is descriptive statistics and what is inferential statistics. So covering these topics, you will be able to understand about the fundamental concepts and the integrities of statistics. So let's start. So class, let's start with the lecture itself. In order to start, what statistics is, let's discuss the concept first. Class, what happens in the modern scenario is in the today's world, what we see is uh, most of the companies are data rich but information poor. That means every company has this team to collect the data and to grab the data from the customers, from the users, and from the stakeholders of the company. But what where they are lagging is they are not able to convert or transform the data into useful information. So now class, statistics is that field which allow you to convert that data into useful information. When we talk about statistics, it is the study of collection, organization, presentation, analysis, and interpretation of data. That means statistics not only helps in collecting data, it helps you in organizing the data, it helps you in presenting the data, it helps you in analyzing the data, and at the end, it will allow you to interpret the data in order to make useful business decisions. Now, when we talk about useful business decisions, we always say business environments are dynamic in nature. In order to survive in the today's changing world, you need to understand what are the steps you need to take today, and what are the steps you should have taken in the in the past, and what are the steps we are looking to counter upon in the future. So statistics helps you in helps you in all the regards. It deals with all the aspects of collection, organization, presentation, analysis, and interpretation of data, including the planning of data collection in terms of design of surveys. That means when we talk about collecting the data, so how to start with collecting the data in terms of surveys, questionnaires, and various other tools. Statistics will also allow you to go in that way. So, in order to understand the definition of statistics, we will just remember the word COPI, COPAI. Now, the C stands for collection, O stands for organization, P stands for presentation, A stands for analysis, and I stands for interpretation of data. So, that means, class, if we remember the word COPI, we will be able to understand, we will be able to remember the definition of statistics. Now, statistics is a tool of decision making. It will allow you to take effective decisions in the available environment. That means if the data is available to you, you can uh, you can just analyze this data and on the basis of interpretation you can make effective decisions. For example, if to a farmer we pass that information that this year the monsoon is going to be only 60% of what we have observed in the previous years, in that case the farmers can plan well, and maybe they can decide on the future plan of actions in order to cope with these types of situations. Next is branches of statistics. Now, when we talk about branches of statistics, statistics is broadly classified into two parts. One is descriptive statistics and second is inferential statistics. When we talk about descriptive statistics, it is basically theoretical in nature, mathematical in nature. When we talk about inferential statistics, basically it is a part of application. So that means it is more of applied in nature than in comparison to this what we see in descriptive statistics. So descriptive statistics gives you the fundamentals. It gives you the initial information about the data, and the inferential statistics will allow you to take effective decisions based on these data in order to achieve what we are looking for in terms of effective decisions. So let's start with descriptive statistics first. Descriptive statistics, when we talk about descriptive statistics, it is the branch of statistics that focuses on collecting, summarizing, and presenting a set of data. That means descriptive statistics gives you brief intro about the data which you have collected over a period of time. So it will allow you to it will allow you to plan in a better way to collect, summarize, and present the set of data. For example, the average age of citizens who voted for the winning candidate in the last presidential election. If we talk about the number, the average age of citizens who voted, that means if we talk about what is the average age, then that means suppose the average age comes out to be between 30 to 35. That means we need to encourage voters in the age group of 18 to 30, and we also need to encourage the voters in the age group of let's say 35 to 50, so that they will come out in numbers in order to participate in the electoral process. Second is the average length of all books about statistics. When we say, let's say, a teacher recommends a book to its students that you have to read this book containing 100 pages, let's say, and other teacher is mentioning that you need to cover up this topic covering, let's say, 1,000 pages. So when we talk about completing a book of statistics, how much a student can expect, how many number of pages are there in a book. So if we take an average, that will give a brief review, that will give a brief peek into the number of books, that is the number of pages that is there in the book of statistics. So third is the variation of weight of 100 boxes of cereal selected from a factory's production line. That means if we saw about, if we say there is a production line containing in which cereals are put into a box. So if we have to measure what is the variation in weight, suppose the first box measures 1 kg, second box measures, let's say, 995 gram, third box varies, box weighs 1005 grams. So in that case, if we want to study the variation in the weights of cereal boxes in the production line, we can also use in that case we can also use statistics to come up with certain type of solution. Next is inferential statistics. Now it is that part of statistics which deals with the application. That means when you have the data and you have analyzed the data, interpreted the data, and you are there to take the decisions. Now that part of statistics which help you to analyze the data, interpret the data, and ultimately take the decisions is known as inferential statistics. As far as its definition goes, it is the branch of statistics that analyzes sample data to draw conclusions about a population. That means in order to draw conclusion, we first what we need to do first is we need to draw a sample. For example, we need to study the behavior of all the students in a country, or let's say in Delhi only. So in order to understand the behavior of students about social media in Delhi, let us say this is the study which we are going to conduct. In that case, to cover all the students in Delhi is not practically feasible. So what we do is we take a sample. For example, we are talking about young generation. We are talking about students of colleges only, undergraduate students only. In that case, we will go to the colleges uh, uh, where the undergraduate students are in large numbers, and we can take the sample of 50 to 100 students from each college. If even that is not feasible, we can reduce the sample to, let's say, 10 students per college. By doing so, we can reduce the data by a big number, and because these samples are the representatives of their colleges or universities. In that case, the calculation based on these numbers can be applied to the whole population of students. For example, if we say the average time spent by students on social media is, let's say, 7 hours, that means we can draw a conclusion that during this period the students are spending most of their time on social media. So if we want to engage those students in the marketing process, or let's say in the admission process, that means the strategy is to target the student age group through social media channels only. Let's take some examples also. A survey that sampled 2001 full or part-time workers ages 50 to 70, conducted by American Association of Retired Persons. AARP is the premium institution, okay, which allows you to go through this process of data collection. So let us say we have a survey in which there are 2001 samples and containing the workers in the age group of 50 to 70. It discovered that 70% of those polled planned to work past the traditional mid 60s age. That means 70% of the sample of the workers aged between 50 to 70, they are planned to work post their 60s retirement age. That means the experience side of the institutions can be enhanced if these people can be brought to the decision making panel. By using this method, these statistics could be used to draw conclusions about the population of all workers aged between 50 to 70. So, so class, you can realize that how inferential statistics works. Inferential statistics, we take a sample, and based on the calculations and the inferences drawn from this sample, we can draw a broad conclusion about the population. Now, finish the today's lecture. We will last discuss the functions of statistics. Now, what do you call of statistics? So first, when we talk about statistics, it will help you to give the first function of the statistics is to provide numerical facts. That means any decision based on numerical facts can be used to make that decision effective. For example, if we say this year the monsoon is going to decrease, one is this statement, and second is this year the monsoon is going to decrease by a percentage of 20%, and third we say this year the monsoon is going to decrease by 50%. You can see that once we add numbers 50%, 20% to this statement, it will give you more broader or more clearer picture of the situation. So the function of statistics is to provide numerical facts. Second is to simplify complex facts. Okay. For example, if we have a situation like uh, how many of our students are not performing well in the class tests. So if we take the average and we find that majority of the students are not performing well in that class test, that means there are two interpretations. One, either the test is the test is you can say it is very tough, or you can say that majority of the students are not participating well in the class, maybe because of faculty, maybe because of the environment, maybe because of the physical conditions of the classroom, and there are so many other reasons which are possible. So statistics allows you to simplify those complex facts. Next, to enlarge human knowledge and experience. Once we have the data, we analyze, interpret that data. It will enhance your knowledge and experience. It will help in the formulation of policies like the governments do. Governments take how many percentage the percentage of population which are living under uh, poverty line, and based on that data they can decide on the policies they need to form to push those people to move up the ladder. Then third, to provide comparison. We can easily compare based on the data how two states, how two countries are performing in order to with respect to each other. For example, if we want to compare the economic situation of India and Sri Lanka, okay, we can see we can take a data of their let's say export, what percentage of goods are exported in India and what percentage of goods are exported in Sri Lanka. Based on that percentage, we can comment or we can compare the economic situations of India and Sri Lanka. So class, for the today's lecture, that's it. In the next class, we will discuss about the data and the mathematical logic associated with that data. So class, thank you.